Orenthal James Simpson was born on July 9, 1947, in San Francisco, California, into a family that knew struggle. His mother, Eunice, worked hard as a hospital administrator, while his father, Jimmy Lee Simpson, was a bank custodian and drag performer who later revealed he was gay. Life wasn't easy. Growing up in the Potrero Hill housing projects, O.J. battled poverty, violence, and a neighborhood filled with gang activity. As a child, he suffered from rickets, leaving his legs weak and bowed. He wore braces for years, enduring ridicule from other kids. But O.J. had a spark, a drive that made him believe he was destined for more than the streets. When he finally outgrew his leg braces, he discovered something powerful: speed. On the playground and later the football field, O.J. was unstoppable. By high school, Simpson had developed into a local sports hero at Galileo High School. He wasn't just fast, he was electric, darting, spinning, and outrunning everyone. After a brief stint at City College of San Francisco, he transferred to the University of Southern California, USC, in 1967. There, under coach John McKay, O.J. exploded into national fame. In 1968, he led USC to a national championship and won the Heisman Trophy, college football's highest honor. America fell in love with him, a charismatic, smiling superstar who seemed to transcend race during a turbulent time in U.S. history. O.J. wasn't just a football player, he was a symbol of success, the image of the American dream. In 1969, Simpson was drafted first overall by the Buffalo Bills. At first, he struggled. The team was weak, and his coaches didn't know how to use him. But everything changed when Lou Saban became head coach. Saban built the team around O.J., and the results were historic. In 1973, O.J. became the first player in NFL history to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season, an astonishing feat in just 14 games. Fans nicknamed him the Juice. He wasn't just a football hero, he was an icon. His running style, graceful yet explosive, captured the imagination of millions. O.J. continued to dominate through the 1970s, earning MVP awards, rushing titles, and a place among the greatest running backs in history. Off the field, he was just as visible. When O.J. retired from football in 1979, he smoothly transitioned into the entertainment world. He was handsome, charming, and articulate, perfect for Hollywood. He appeared in films like The Towering Inferno, The Klansman, and the Naked Gun comedy series. He was also a sports commentator for NBC, a commercial spokesman for Hertz, and one of the most beloved black celebrities in America. He seemed untouchable, rich, famous, and admired, but behind the bright smile was a storm brewing. O.J. married Marguerite Whitley in 1967, and they had 3 children, Arnell, Jason, and Aaron. But fame strained their relationship. O.J. was unfaithful and often absent. In 1979, their daughter Erin tragically drowned in a swimming pool accident at just 2 years old. The couple soon divorced. Not long after, O.J. met Nicole Brown, an 18-year-old waitress. He was 30. They fell in love quickly and married in 1985. The relationship seemed glamorous: parties, luxury, and high society. But beneath the surface, there was violence. Police reports and friends' testimonies later revealed years of domestic abuse. Nicole called the police multiple times, often terrified. O.J. was controlling, jealous, and at times brutal. In 1989, he pleaded no contest to spousal abuse, but the cycle continued. In 1992, Nicole finally left him, taking their 2 children, Sydney and Justin. On June 12, 1994, the unthinkable happened. Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman were found brutally murdered outside Nicole's Brentwood condominium. Nicole had been stabbed multiple times. Her throat was slashed. Goldman had been stabbed repeatedly as well. Within hours, suspicion turned to O.J. Simpson. The police found blood drops, a glove, and other evidence linking him to the crime scene. O.J. promised to surrender, but instead led police on a slow-speed chase in his white Ford Bronco, driven by his friend Al Cowlings. The chase was broadcast live on television, with millions watching as O.J. held a gun to his head in the back seat. After more than an hour, he finally surrendered at his home. The trial that followed captivated the world. The People versus O.J. Simpson became more than a murder case. It was a reflection of America's racial, social, and celebrity divides. The prosecution, led by Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden, presented DNA evidence linking O.J. to the murders. The defense, led by Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, F. Lee Bailey, and Robert Kardashian, argued that O.J. was framed by a racist police department. The turning point came when O.J. was asked to try on the bloody gloves found at the scene. They appeared too tight. Cochran famously told the jury, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." On October 3, 1995, the verdict was announced. Not guilty. The courtroom erupted. Some celebrated, seeing it as a victory against systemic racism. Others were outraged, believing a murderer had walked free. The trial divided America like few events before or since. Though acquitted criminally, O.J.'s life was never the same. He became a pariah in Hollywood. Sponsorships and acting opportunities vanished. In 1997, the Goldman and Brown families sued him in civil court for wrongful death, and won. The jury ordered O.J. to pay $33.5 million in damages. To avoid paying, he moved to Florida, where state laws protected his home and pensions from seizure. He spent his days golfing, signing autographs, and trying to live off his past fame. But the shadow of the murders followed him everywhere. In 2007, O.J. found himself in trouble once more. He led a group of men into a Las Vegas hotel room to retrieve what he claimed were stolen sports memorabilia items. The confrontation turned violent. He was arrested and charged with multiple felonies, including kidnapping and armed robbery. In 2008, a Nevada jury found him guilty, and he was sentenced to 33 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after 9. O.J. tearfully said it wasn't about money. He just wanted back his personal items. But the irony was clear. A man once acquitted of murder was now going to prison for stealing his own memorabilia. In 2017, after serving 9 years, he was released on parole. After his release, O.J. settled quietly in Las Vegas. He stayed out of major legal trouble, though he occasionally made headlines with social media posts and interviews. He joined Twitter in 2019 with the words, "I've got a little getting even to do." Fans and critics alike were stunned, even fascinated, that the man once at the center of the most famous trial in modern history was back in the public eye, still charismatic, still smiling. But O.J. remained a symbol of celebrity excess, racial tension, media obsession, and the blurred line between fame and infamy. O.J. Simpson's life remains one of the most extraordinary and tragic stories in American history. He went from football hero to movie star, from national icon to murder suspect, from beloved figure to symbol of controversy. Even today, debates rage about his guilt or innocence. But one truth remains. His story changed how America viewed race, justice, and fame. For many, O.J. represents the ultimate cautionary tale, a man who had everything and lost it all. For others, he's a reminder of how fame can distort truth and justice. His children, Sydney and Justin, have chosen private lives, away from the spotlight that once consumed their family. As for O.J., he spent his later years golfing, giving occasional interviews, and living a quiet life. Far from the roaring crowds that once chanted his name, O.J. Simpson will forever be a paradox, a legend of the gridiron, a fallen star, a man whose name became both famous and infamous. His life, full of triumphs, scandals, and tragedy, reads like a Hollywood script. But unlike fiction, the wounds and memories he left behind are painfully real. In the end, Orenthal James Simpson's story isn't just about crime or fame. It's about the fragility of glory, the dark side of celebrity, and how one man's rise and fall mirrored the tensions and obsessions of an entire nation.